Blaine Taylor here with Joe Mihalich. Joe, it's so nice to sit down with you. You know, I've watched you for years at a distance and now more up close. And, you know, your background with DeMatha and playing at LaSalle and Wooten and Speedy Morris and all this stuff that this enthralls me from a basketball standpoint. What you did at Niagara, they hadn't won a championship in 35 years, you brought them one, 265 wins. All that stuff is kind of chronicled. I kind of want to step away and see if we can't get a little glimpse at, you know, Joe Mihalich, the man. Do you realize that there are two coaches in the league that are married to a woman named Mary and have 3 sons and have twin boys, and you're one of them?
And now you got to follow it up with how the twins have the same birthday.
Is that right?
And both of our Marys are nurses, and we both were assistants for 17 years. No, it's
there's a reason I invited you here today.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It really is crazy.
No, it's incredible.
It's what a coincidence. Yeah. But you know, those boys are all, you know, around basketball, coaching basketball. I mean, tell me about having 3 sons that are coaching.
Well, I'm a lucky guy just to have the 3 sons I have. I'm really proud of them. You know, and I know they want to be coaches. Now, one of them's a track coach. He's a smart one. He's a track coach. So Tony is an assistant track coach at Iona College. And my son Matt is kind of an assistant director of basketball operations at George Mason University. And then my son Joey's a Division III assistant at Scranton. And I'm really proud of them. I mean, they're good guys, and they have a passion for it. They really do, which is the first thing I look for. Mm-hmm. But you know, sometimes I wish they would just get a great high school. You and I were talking off the air. Get that great high school job and teach a math class, and you know, run a camp in the summer and whatever. Live happily ever after.
As you came into coaching years ago, you had these crossroads. What would you be doing today if you weren't coaching, do you think?
If I wasn't coaching, I think I'd still want to be teaching in high school. You know, just to be around. You know, it keeps you young. But more than that, it's just like Morgan Wooten used to say, when you're with high school kids, you can teach and touch their lives. When we get them, you know this, when we get them in college, they kind of are who they are. You can influence them, you can have something to do with them, but they kind of are who they are. But when you're with somebody in high school, you take somebody who's 13 or 14, and when they leave, you know, then they're 17 or 18, and you kick them out there to college and let them get even more ready. But you can really touch somebody's life when they're in high school.
You talk about those influences. Who influenced you? Who brought you along as a coach, as a man? Sometimes it's a parent, sometimes it's an educator, sometimes it's a coach.
Yeah,
who did it for Joe?
Well, you know, to be with Morgan Wooten, it was just, you know, he's a fabulous guy. I mean, he's an incredible coach. I mean, 1,300 wins. He's in the Hall of Fame. I think he's the best coach that ever lived, but I'm a little biased. But he's, you know, I remember, I can tell you this story. I had to deliver a message one time back when I was coaching the JV team at DeMatha, and Morgan was teaching a history class. And I remember going to deliver that note to him or that message to him, and I found myself sitting there listening to him teach because he was fascinating. He was so good at what he did. Speedy Morris was that way too. Just to see these guys who are terrific people off the floor as well as on. I mean, I'm a lucky guy. I'm a lucky guy to be around Morgan Wooten and Speedy Morris.
Well, this leads me to, what is your proudest achievement, your proudest thing that's occurred away from basketball, off the court?
It would be, you know, if somebody would say, hey, you know what, you're a good dad and a good husband, that would be what I'd be proud of more than anything else. There's nothing more important to me than that. I mean, winning games is how we make a living, but, you know, my 3 sons, if they grow up to be good people and all that stuff, and if I can be a good husband to my wife Mary, who's, you know, deserves way better than me, you know, that's kind of my daily goal. When I try to win the day, that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, you've touched a lot of lives, Joe, and thanks for letting us take a look into yours, and good luck to you down the trail, my friend.
Thanks, Coach. Good being with you.